I'm gonna show you how great I am.
The 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you.
A concept I was obsessed with for the longest time was the idea of being a dream hunter. I'm Lucas Lacano, I'm a filmmaker and photographer based in LA, and I love mental health. Some people call it being goal-oriented, entrepreneurs, or heroes. But wanting to be one doesn't mean you're allowed to be one. Or at least that's how I felt. My insecurities would always speak louder.
What are you doing? How do you even plan on starting something for yourself when you're not even good at anything?
And that hurts. It would always put me down. It was like ulting it for a game I just started because I wanted to play and wanted to know. But because I saw all these good players, I felt like I didn't belong.
You shut up when I'm talking to you! You shut your mouth!
But those voices are not a reflection of reality. Every good player was once a noob. And to be a good player, you need to be an amateur first. But there was some truth to those voices. What do I want to do that I could enjoy learning, no matter how hard and rejecting it is? I went deep into my mind, researching through the depths of my past, finding all these things I love doing, and all these useless things I was interested in, but nothing about passion or obsession. Until I remember this very specific day in my mind. I was 13 years old. I was proud of a doodle I made. Not because it looked good, but because he was able to express something I couldn't express through words. It was a doodle of a jigsaw puzzle I made as a metaphor for life, that every piece was a memory I made, and once you reach death, it would turn into this beautiful picture. I love visual storytelling. But it was a bittersweet start. My friend didn't get it. He said, "Stop daydreaming, dude. Come back to reality." I felt broken. Maybe I do think too much. Because of it, it never came into realization that I love telling stories. But on the other hand, I became obsessed with cartoons. I wanted to improve my drawings, and I didn't even know why. It was like I was trying to create my own inner world in order to escape reality. Until one day, I was watching this Japanese animated series called Death Note. It's about this notebook that gives the writer the ability to kill anyone as long as they know their face and their name. That's genius. If the visuals looks cool and appealing, anyone would get it. That's what I thought. But that motivation was short-lived. It never felt like I improved fast enough for me to fulfill all these weird and abstract concepts I had in my mind. I was disappointed with myself again. Maybe my friend was right. Maybe I'm just wasting my time. Who would take their time trying to understand what I have to say? I know it's not that simple. I know it takes so many factors into making visuals of that caliber. Once again, reminded that I couldn't be a dream hunter. Maybe it is just a foolish dream. I don't know anyone personally that are successful in that field. I'll probably just starve to death and live as a failure. I give up. But actually, I ended up putting the dream in a box, and I hid it from the world. I didn't want to be disappointed with myself again. I moved on, lived life comfortably, got into relationships, got into heartbreaks. School sucked, but I graduated. I would meet people, exchange stories, talk about the things that moved us and our darkness. And slowly, I realized that I was still a storyteller, but in a different way. It was like I was living my stories. I wanted to live a life I could talk about it later, and I could think that they were cool. But it's tricky. When I was living my stories, I got lost in the novelty. I was pursuing people and situations that would make great stories, when in reality, they were just terrible choices to make. I got hurt a lot. I hurt a lot of people. And I was only interested in the idea of being loved, but not the actual process of being loved. When things became difficult or not as exciting, I would always quit. It was like I was watching the fillers of a TV series. When it wasn't going the way I wanted, I would just stop. It was so irresponsible. After years putting my dreams to the side, I ended up choosing my career as a graphic designer. And strangely enough, it wasn't what I wanted. It was more corporate driven than storytelling. It felt like I had no room to express my ideas. I know I could have just stuck with it and utilized those skills later, but I hated their system. And I get it. The schools have to follow certain protocols in order to increase their chances of succeeding, but I felt stuck. And altogether with all my securities, I couldn't do it anymore. I dropped out. 6 months passed, trying to transfer schools, credits, but nothing really going my way. Depressed, partying a lot, drinking to numb my pain of existence, until I had a terrible alcohol poisoning experience. I blacked out and went to the ER. Through my recovery, I asked myself, what am I doing? Why am I so pathetic? I want control over my life, I thought. So I decided to change. I went sober for 2 years. I started working out more, and I lost 30 pounds in 6 months. Man, I even got invited to play American football for the first time, and it was exhilarating. After a few months, I felt some level of purpose. I started meeting people who were traveling, people who had scholarships through the sport, and people who were winning. I wanted to be around those people. And strangely enough, a few weeks passed. My mother asked me what I was going to do with my life moving forward. Did I want to work for my dad? Did I want to go back to prep school? And then she surprisingly suggested me the idea of studying abroad, doing an exchange program for 6 months for English, because I was terrible at English. Luckily, my family was in a decent financial situation to help me. And for the first time, that idea wasn't terrifying to me. I never thought I would fit the idea of studying abroad. I always enjoyed living comfortably. My family, friends, I had a girlfriend at that time. But as you know, the last couple of years, I wouldn't describe my life as comfortable. So why not? I thought. But I would have to stop playing football, make new friends, and I would have to deal with shit on my own. And that sounds a little dreadful. But I had an idea. I could just go to college in the US, try to play football, and maybe get a career as a coach. I would just kill two birds with one stone. And I told my parents that idea. They thought I was crazy, understandably. But we had a deal. If I went after all the paperwork and the agency and the translators, they would support me. Then a year later, here I was in an airplane to LAX by myself. No plans, no dreams, no preconceived notion of culture or pop culture. I was just purely here based on impulse and intuition. Reckless, I know. But in the back of my mind, I just needed freedom. Rather if it was physical or mental, I just needed space from everything I knew because I felt stuck in a cycle. I didn't have the means or the strength necessary to get out of it on my own. I felt like I had no future living under the reality I was part of. And maybe it was just all in my head. But it was terrifying. And you may think that moving away won't actually solve that problem. And you're right. Living on my own and being away from everything I knew as comfort just put into perspective all the flaws I had, and mixed with the pride and the fear of going home as a failure made everything incredibly more difficult. But Lucas, what does any of it has to do with being a dream hunter? You never told the story of like how you found filmmaking or what even makes you a dream hunter. And what I realized was just not about the accomplishments or the career you choose. It's more about the mentality around the bigger picture. Even though my journey was more of a game of hide and seek, I've always wanted to tell stories. Even though life would always beat me to the ground, in my mind, I would always find my way back, regardless how insecure I felt. Dream hunters, in my opinion, is not about a career or what people do or how they do it. I think it's just the innate desire to live a life you deserve to live. And how it's done, it doesn't matter. Everyone is unique to their own rhythm. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment down below, what do you think? I know it took forever for me to post another video, and yeah, I don't have an excuse, but yeah, I'm just trying to find my rhythm. I hope you take anything from this video. Let me know if you guys like it. You know, I'm trying to find a system where I can do it in a way that doesn't take a toll on me, you know, but I still can be productive and pursue this something that is just for myself. And if you find any value in it, yeah, subscribe and follow me on this journey. Peace.